Today I'm taking my walk. I'm going to go get my antidepressants, but I just want to come and make another video, and this time I'm not crying. Last time I was really emotional, feeling really down and depressed. I just wanted to come on today and talk a little bit about the people who I'm thankful for. The first person I'm very thankful for is my biological father. I have great memories with him, even though my mother tried always calling my dad names and saying mean things about him, and none of it was true. My mother was always gaslighting me. The second most important person in my life to come into my life was my step-grandmother, Phyllis. The first day I met her, she told me to call her grandma, and she was my grandmother for years, and I thank and I love her. She would help me with my schoolwork because my parents didn't. My stepfather worked 2 jobs. My mother, lucky she could add 1 and 1 together and come up with 2. She was very mean. Never was able to help me with my spelling, which I understand why. I mean, with me being dyslexic, I'm assuming she also is dyslexic. But her being a narcissist, she'll never admit it. I remember when I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and they taught me how to work with it. And so I learned how to work with it. I slowed myself down. They got me extra help with testing and homework and things. And that's how I ended up becoming an AB student. But my grandmother was a wonderful soul. Very accepting of anything I did. It's just a wonderful person. My other hero is my step-grandfather. I just love that man. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have made amends with my father at the age of 17. My grandfather was dying of cancer. And when I left his house, he only lived a few houses down from me where I grew up in Clairton. We lived in row houses down above the steel mill, and in an area called Newtown. That's what we called it. It was the area that was built for the steel workers back in the 1920s, and the row houses were basically the mill workers, and the houses surrounding it were single-family homes were where the supervisors and managers lived, and that's the area I grew up in. And it took a long time, but I had a lot of heroes, a lot of good people throughout school and teachers, with the teachers, like Mrs. Wiggins, my kindergarten teacher. God rest her soul. She was a beautiful woman. Absolutely loved her. I had the 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Falk. 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Walsh. And it seems weird that it's always the even grades that I had wonderful teachers. 5th grade is when I actually I felt that a teacher broke me. Her name was Mrs. Kensky. She used to tell me I was stupid and lazy, and she was going to send me back to 4th grade because I was stupid. And you figure I was young in that age, 11, 12 years old. And then I had Mrs. Underwood. Mrs. Underwood was my 6th grade teacher, and she did a lot for us students. I really loved her. Then 7th and 8th grade, that's when we started switching classes and stuff. My favorite classes in 7th and 8th grade was shop and home ec. 2 things I love to do now. I love woodworking, and I love cooking. I know how to sew because of her, because of home ec. But then high school the first 2 years were really rough for me. 9th grade, I failed a lot of classes. I failed 9th grade English because Mr. Ackerman, a.k.a. Egger Schneider, and the French teacher, Mrs. Marswell, I think her name was. She got mad at me one time and called me names and stuff and just broke me. So that whole year, I just slept in her classes. I didn't do nothing. But in 10th grade is when definitely a change in my life came. I was angry. I wasn't talking to my father. I was supposed to do a family tree project, and I was very reluctant to do it because I wasn't talking to my father. And that's when Mr. Posey had me tested for learning disabilities and everything, because he seen that I had potential. Seen I was a good person. And I've said that, I talked about that a little bit in one of my videos. But Mr. Manick and Mr. Capone, the shop teachers, they were great guys. Mr. Manick especially. My senior project in shop, I built a TV stand, and I had no way of getting home, so he packed it up in the back of his truck and drove me home, helped me get in the house and everything. And then, he was a great guy. He gave me a lot of inspiration, and I truly wish I could find him, but I can't find him anywhere. I'm not too sure where he lives at or where he lives, but he was a great guy. I also found out he was Polish, which I'm Polish. I'm like third generation in America. My great-grandparents came over from Poland on both sides of my family, my aunt told me. But then after high school, I went straight to work, and I remember 22 years old, I met a young woman who she brought a wonderful bunch of people in my life. Reverend Dixon, who I said was one of my greatest heroes. And then at 30 years old, my son was born. And that kid saved my life. He saved my life more than enough. But that's just a little bit more. I didn't want to make too long a video, and this is almost 6.5 minutes. So, hey, remember, if you're suffering from depression or anxiety and you're feeling awful thoughts in your head and you need help, there's lines out there, there's phone numbers you can call. I'll try to supply those sometime soon. I think one of them is actually 988. I'm not 100% sure. But make sure you get help. Nothing. You have loved ones out there. And I know after the last video I posted on Facebook, I had a lot of my classmates I grew up with in high school reach out to me, and they brought tears to my eyes with joy. Just the wonderful words they gave and wonderful things they said. And I want to thank them. So, hey, everybody, you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out, and I love you guys.